always available. Not saying I have all the answers, but we can definitely bounce off some stories, ideas, etc. We had an opportunity to talk in person, on the phone. I love his energy. Obviously, the school hiring the man, I saw something special in him, and that's why I see it myself when I had a chance to speak with him. Coach Shrewsbury, been with Butler, Brad Stevens. Can I say more? And then from there, Coach Painter, who's had so much success at Purdue, one of the premier top level, not just top conference coach here in the Big Ten, but just overall, this one of the best coaches in college basketball. We know the success he's had. So with those coaches getting an opportunity, it's beautiful to see. There are going to be many coaches in the future with all the hard work and effort that guys are putting in behind the scenes that we haven't had a chance to witness, that other coaches with the turnover of staffs are seeing. And head coach I'm speaking of. It's great. It's great for college basketball. Hunter will continue to do what I knew when I first recruited him, is continue to work to have that growth mindset on preparing himself to compete night in and night out. His love for the game, the level of intelligence that he has displayed in practice, in game-like situations. I wasn't surprised that he had early success as a freshman. I watched him closely in high school and how he was able to make plays out of being doubled in the post and make the right pass on time, on target, seeing an open man and not trying to do more, but just want to make a winning play. For him to have so much success in high school and winning, that right there spoke volumes to me, because it also put a thought in my head that he's been coached, and he's been coached the right way. How that's going to translate and transition into the NBA, I'm not here to talk about the NBA right now, because, we hadn't gotten that far. He has his sophomore year that he's looking forward to, and with that, we're looking forward to a healthy season. That starts with that first, good health, and then we take one game at a time. But in practice, from what I've seen, he is always one of those guys that he comes every day up on time. He works out hard. There are times when he call or text me to get extra work in before practice or after practice. We watch individual film together. So he's a joy to coach, and I enjoy having him in my corner.
Hey, Coach, you're a Michigan guy. You're representing your university. I just talked to your two guys. What great guys. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Great guys. But what's it like for you? I mean, you came back home a couple of years ago. I mean, this is home to you. I mean, you take extra pride in the program, but I mean, how cool is that for you to kind of be living your dream to be a coach?
Yeah, you said it. I am living my dream. And so when you live a dream of, and I never, and let's start with this first. I never dreamt that I would be the head coach at the University of Michigan. I was one of those guys said I would never coach. And look at me now, right? But then, walking into my office and just seeing like, wow, this is really real. Like, pinch me. Like, don't wake me up, because I'm loving what I'm doing. And when you love something, you're gonna pour a lot of passion into it. And I think I've shown that, and I think my players, along with my staff, sees it and they trust it. You're welcome.
Give you a good smile. Big smile.
No, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
I can't say I've heard your thoughts on name, image.
I don't. You know, I would say this: that summer, I heard rumblings that there was a possibility they would call and want to talk and see if I had interest. And I remember Desmond Howard, reaching out to me and asking me if I had interest, and I said, "Yeah, I have interest, of course. I mean, Michigan is Michigan, and it holds a special place in my heart." But I've been watching the program for many years and seen the success that Coach Beeline has had with the program, and love, that block him like it's no other. So I will definitely listen. And then I get another call from Terry Mills, and he asked me if I had interest, and I'm like, shared the same story with him, and but then for it to happen, I was like, oh wow, this is real now. So this is it really came to fruition, and I'm excited, and I'm still that excitement hasn't left me, even though I'm going into my third year. Some would say because early. Let's see what you look like, 10 years from now.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I can't say I've heard your thoughts on name, image, and likeness.
Right,
But
right.
I'd like to, especially since you and
Yeah.
your college teammates at the time could have been a group that really benefited from it. You couldn't. Now, what are your thoughts that the players can?
Oh, actually, I'm happy for the players. I support the players getting the opportunity to capitalize on name, image, and likeness. It's it's their brand, and today's market, you have to evolve. And with social media, with how that it's a lot different from when I was in college. A lot of players are doing fun. They've been able to express themselves, I would say, in a lot of different ways, whether it's on TikTok or whether it's their IG or Twitter, you know, and and I don't see anything wrong with that because it's all about how we can help them become the best version of themselves. As a student athlete before name, image, and likeness existed, as a student athlete, helping them become their own CEO, whether they make it to the NBA or not. Okay, what we have planned for those who go on and not going to play basketball. I've always it was about let's bring the Michigan alums and meet our players, and so they can when they finish and they get their degree and graduate, they can walk out of here with a job. And so now you have an opportunity with the name, image, likeness for alums to get an opportunity to work with you, and on what they do corporately and how the personality of that student athlete, how they can bring those two together, and that's a beautiful way of seeing how that student athlete can expand on it. Financially, I think we got to continue to keep educating our student athletes on their responsibilities that comes when there's a fees are being paid. Uh, let's introduce them to FICA. uh, let's also introduce them to paying taxes. Let's educate them, knowing that when they sign their name on a contract, before you put your name on it, read it. Let's educate them on letting them know what type of rights that they are giving up and what type of partnership that they are forming with their brand and with that company's brand. Um, that's what I'm more encouraged, and then we'll continue to encourage our student athletes to really think this thing through, be uh, very diligent and patient, and not feel like they got to go out there and run to get the money. Let's make sure that whatever comes with that money, that we know is exactly what the responsibilities are before it hits your bank account.
Can you give a track record of NBA guys coming to college when you took the job that most had not been successful, and what has allowed you to be successful so far? What do you think has been the biggest reason you kind of haven't fallen in line with a lot of the former NBA guys with a lot of money, maybe haven't wanted to recruit like you have and get after it?
Well, I've heard some of the stories of guys that came from the NBA and didn't have success that they probably wanted to, looking forward to. But I've learned a lot from some of the mistakes that they made, and they have taught me throughout the process on how the really if you really want to coach and and you really say you want to get into the college game and be a head coach, that it's more than just the X's and O's. And if you're not willing to embrace the other stuff, then this is not the best place for you. I think you may need to find a new profession. And I've always had that mindset of I'm not going. Ever since I was younger, I'm not going to let anyone outwork me. and that's and I'm also all about not the fixed mindset because I've had early success that there's not room for growth. There's always room for growth on how I'm wired, and I still to this day call, set up meetings, um, read books on where I can improve, and
You like the recruiting, though. You like the recruiting?
oh yeah, yeah, I like the recruiting. Oh yeah,
Came over, like, you don't want to be on the phone all night. You know,
yeah,
they don't understand.
right,
When you went home in the NBA, you went home. Nobody called you,
true, true,
right?
yeah. The phone has become my best friend. But I still make sure I make time for my wife. Yes, yes, you're welcome.
How important is your staff, especially Phil Martelli? And do you have a good Phil Martelli story?
Good Phil Martelli story. Well, first let me start with I have a great staff, and it starts with Coach Sadie Washington, Howard Isley, and Phil Martelli. And then I have a great support staff: Jay Smith, Chris Hunter, Jerron Simmons, Lisa Nicholson, and we all collectively are all about being selfless. We're all about growth mindset. We also about how can we do our best to help serve these young athletes and teaching them and growing them. When it comes to a Coach Phil Martelli story, like he's one of the best storytellers there is. And I just enjoy just sitting down and just listening to his stories because it's always going to be funny. But I can't really give you, well, I'll give you one story. Yeah. One of the stories I recall is, now we're trying to figure out if we're going to go back to suits and just shirt and tie on the bench. Last season, we was more of a casual look, the sporty casual with the polo, sneakers, and I was just telling Coach about the retros. I said, Coach Roy Williams, he used to wear all these nice Jordans, and he had the best shoe game as far as an older statesman. I'm speaking of like head coach. I said, Coach, my goal is to let you throw Roy Williams off his throne. You become that coach with the best shoe game. He looked at me. I don't give a shit about him. About any of these retros. What is retros? That's my Phil Martelli story. He's a coach. Coach has like that. He has a nice suit collection. Never heard of. It was very rare. I would say you never. It was very rare when you hear a guy that comes from Europe that can play defense. and Franz has displayed and accepted being that two-way player, and that's why, one of his whys, not one of his whys, on why he was drafted as a lottery pick. But we're going to miss him.
So after Juwan, in addition to your ability to work with big men, how valuable is it for a freshman like Musa to have somebody like Hunter, that you can look up to as well?
Yeah, it's very valuable for both. But it's great that Musa, being a guy that wants to get better, love asking questions, and want to be able to make the transition where he can help the team, it's great to be able to have a guy like Hunter, who can bounce off a lot of questions, get the answers on Hunter's experience as a freshman playing in college basketball and also in the Big Ten Conference. And then also competing against one another in practice, too. You only get better that way. And Musa he's a guy that's, his mouth get watery for more and more knowledge, more and more. He wants it. And, a guy like that you want as a coach, you enjoy that. A guy always want to, ask questions, see how they can improve.
Juwan, so after last year's Elite Eight tournament exit and Big Ten regular season championship, what are your goals and expectations for this year's team?
Goal is always be one of the most competitive teams, in college basketball. Goal is always to win in Big Ten conference play, win the Big Ten conference, and also to win the NCAA championship. That goal will never ever stop here. As while I'm the coach here at the University of Michigan. Last year was last year. It was a good, way to learn and see where you can grow as a coach and also as a team. But we're going to try to do where we can to help try to accomplish those goals.
How would you describe Brad Underwood's push to the top of the Big Ten and what those games mean to you this year?
How do you describe? Excuse me. Can you clarify? A great question. Musa has done a phenomenal job in adjusting to the college life in Ann Arbor. And I think a part of it has to deal with the fact that he's so mature and he's also embraced the culture. He hasn't fought or shown any resistance at all. And for me, moving on and transitioning to a different country and a different level of education, his transition has been smooth as it come because he has accepted and he has asked for, and he's not afraid to ask for help. And I've always talked to our student athletes about it's bravery when you display that, and ask for help. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I always encourage it, and I think that's what, as a coach and, and as a father, our young people need to know that they are empowered to use their voice. And with Musa, like in practice, he never minds stopping practice and, oh, wait, what did you say here? Or ask a question about a position or about a play set or defensive teaching moment. And I always told our guys, I said, hey, wherever question that you ask, first is not a dumb question, but secondly, ask. We will spend all day in practice until you get it. And for the guys that already know it, don't take it as being like, okay, we're going to be here forever. But you have to commend these young men for wanting to pick it up and embrace that, embrace it. And with Musa, like with different high schools, and to stay at IMG during, when COVID first broke, and everyone was going back home to their families, and the airport closed down, and you couldn't fly out to Europe. He stayed at IMG, and he worked out twice a day with coaches and ate meals there on campus. My heart was, if it wasn't for NCAA rules, I would have drove to IMG, and I picked up Jet. I was going to pick up Musa and take him with me too. It's like, because I just care for the kid. I don't look at like, the recruiting or how I can win him because of, I want to impress him. Here's someone who is far away from home and I commend IMG for really looking out for his health and safety. They did an amazing job. Oh, good. Yeah, he's going to play multiple positions for us, so I'll just put it out there. he may end up playing a little point forward. Who knows? He's capable of doing it, but he definitely can guard 1 through 5. But offensively, he's going to play multiple positions because his game has displayed that he's very versatile.
No, I think in
Yes.
I think about the stir that you guys created and how much of a sensation that was. And fast forward to seeing interviews with Jalen going off about how they'd see your jerseys in the stores not making any money off of it and how that left a bitter taste in your mouth. I'm wondering, did the Fab Five in some way plant the seeds for Nil? And are you surprised the change took so long to happen?
No, Fab Five did not plant the seed for NIL. But I will say this that it's about time that it's happened for our student athletes, and I just hope that with the new NIL that it's not taken advantage of. We're not, and people are not taking advantage of our young men and women. I didn't know we had a growing rival with Illinois. I thought we had a growing rivalry with every Big Ten team in the conference.
What's it like facing off against Brian Underwood in the Fighting
Well, he's working on all facets of his game, and we will continue as the season progresses. Right now, we just take one practice at a time. I love what I see in the person because he's always about the growth mindset. He knows that there's a lot of areas of his game that he needs to work on, and he's willing to do it. And he's a joy to coach.